Thank you very much. There is an amendment which we'll take first of all, which is from the Green Party, to be proposed by Councillor Condicle.
Thank you very much, Chair. Before I raise this amendment, I've been told by Virginia we need to add that we must authorise the Head of Finance to update the tables in the revised proposals. So effectively, these changes need to go into the amended tables, but obviously we didn't see the tables at the time. So the Green Paper is the amendment. Basically, we're reallocating some money from the Bermuda Bridge project to do more useful things. The estimated cost of the Bermuda Connect project is almost £7 million now, and that's rising. The project is now expected to destroy an opportunity for 155 jobs opposite Bermuda Station, and the cost of the project equates to 20 years of funding for our life-saving casualty reduction scheme. The project is not needed for any new housing or employment in the area, and the project will not happen. Only £3.7 million of the funding for the project is in place, so effectively it can't go ahead anyway, and we're really keen on reallocating that money for better use. The debt for that £3 million will cost money to service. The new routes will cost maintenance money. It's far better to reallocate that money into the casualty reduction scheme, into doing work to get Stockingford railway station ready to be promoted, and also to add support for walking, cycling, pedestrians. Yeah, the bus use and the cycling is so key. There are millions we need to get out of developers in Section 106 money, in SIL money, for cycling routes, walking routes, bus services, and we just don't have the staff to be pushing for that money, or the staff to actually make sure we effectively allocate that money when we get it. So there's money around. Wellington will generate £400,000 for a new bus route. We need the officers to actually promote these bus routes and get them working. And the time for Stockingford station is coming. The shortage of diesel rolling stock will ease as they electrify the Great Western Main Line, the Midlands Main Line. In 5 years' time, there will be the diesel stock to do more services, and the West Midlands Combined Authority is planning local services out from Birmingham on the line via... Thank you, Mr. Olner.
We're not part of it.
You can talk afterwards. Can I have my few minutes? Right, sorry for that interruption. Yeah, we are at the point now where the West Midlands Combined Authority are looking at local services out to Fort Dunlop, and it makes sense for those services then to serve Stockingford on the way to Nuneaton. It is very important we do action. Very cheap, £75,000 spent on cycling promotion, £75,000 spent on better bus services. And we need to remember, 64 people every year are dying early just in Nuneaton and Bedworth because of air pollution. Thousands more have their lives limited either because of the air pollution or the lack of opportunity to walk and cycle or even get a bus somewhere. So actually, we will be saving lots of lives and making loads of lives better by not doing Bermuda Bridge, but actually putting money into cycling, walking, Stockingford station and casualty reduction. So I commend this amendment and really do hope we spend a tiny sliver of the £300 million we spend as an authority, as our budget, on doing a bit more for the people who walk, cycle or catch a bus. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. And do you have a seconder?
Seconder, reserve my right.
Thank you very much. Councillor Tandy.
Thank you, Chair. I'll start with the Green Group amendments. We in this group will not be supporting the Green Group amendments. I find it quite strange, Chairman, that we have Councillor Condicle there going on at length about what the combined authority are going to do when he refuses to agree to become a member of the combined authority. How can he say one thing and then do another?
Dead easy.
Yes, I know it's dead easy, Bill. He talks at length, and Councillor Olner mentioned it this morning, about pollution. Yet he's quite prepared to allow the pollution to continue in the north of the county, in the Heath End Road area, by totally and utterly opposing the Bermuda connectivity programme. Does he really expect people to walk from Stockingford to the new station? No, they won't walk from Stockingford to the new station, or from Gallicommon to the new station, and Stockingford station ain't going to happen. And Councillor Condacor, I'm quite prepared for you to go on your email or whatever else you want to go on and tell them exactly what I've just said, because I ain't frightened of you. In relation to the Conservative recommendations, Chair, this group will not be supporting the Condemn Coalition budget.
Thank you very much. Councillor Cherry.
For once, I'm going to be really brief. Said at the start, and this Labour group has said all through this budget process, vote for what you believe in. Vote for what you think is right. I don't know how the vote's going to go today. I don't know if the group's going to vote for it or sit on their hands. But can I just say, we weren't elected to this chamber to sit on our hands. We were elected to vote for what you believe for, and that's all I'm going to say.
Thank you very much. Councillor Roothouse.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Also, I was elected to get things done for the people of Warwickshire and the people I represent, as every member of our group was to stand and fight for the things that they wanted, and if we could influence or get those done and get those delivered, we would. We started today with the words about the Conservative government. They still haven't been strengthened in the motion that's in front of you. We still do not condemn the MPs for their lack of action and for their silence, and we should be doing that today, and I would hope via the LGA and this council it would do that, and it hasn't done it. But I do recognise, and the group recognises, some of the areas that we presented and the influence that we have brought to bear onto the agenda and into the budget that's now in front of you, from the family support workers, for the connecting well, and for the other areas, including the extra money into highways maintenance for the future via the capital. That will bring about some differences, but it is only a sticking plaster, and it will mean more taxes for fewer services for the people of Warwickshire, because their taxes are going up and the services will be cut. And we will be back here next year doing an even more difficult budget. We recognise the works that have gone on, but also we recognise that the Conservative group and the Conservative leader has taken on board some of the ideas that we've proposed and consumed that into the budget that's now in front of you. I'd also like the leader to confirm that if the settlement does bring forward significant changes, and by significant I suppose I'm talking excess of £400,000 or £500,000 differences, that we will bring that back to this full council and we will have that debate here about the allocations or non-allocation of that funding, which I think is only right, and we should do that on February the 23rd as well. So I'd like to hear that assurance. If we get that assurance, we as a group will abstain from the Conservative budget in front of us.
Thank you very much. Councillor Oldham.
Yes, Chairman. I rise to, perhaps put right a few wrongs that have been said today. I think in some quarters electioneering starting early, quite frankly. And, I think Councillor Condacor is guilty of misleading hundreds of people in Nuneaton. Yes, it is a wish within the western Nuneaton that Stockingford railway station be opened. If he looks back in the records of the Nuneaton Evening News, it was one of the first things I said when I got elected to this authority for the first time. It is on the books. It is some time away in coming. But the thing is there, it's been mooted, it's been put in by local councillors, quite frankly, and you're just jumping on the bandwagon. It's exactly the same as the Bermuda connectivity bridge. The biggest amount of pollution that's caused in Nuneaton is quite frankly through standing traffic queuing to get somewhere. As I've said before, both in Heath End Road, Greenmoor Road, along the A444. And Keith's right in one respect, in perhaps more cycleways, it'll be a damn sight quicker to cycle from Griff Roundabout to the roundabout at George Eliot Island and beyond by bike than it is to try and get there by car because of all the congestion that's there, quite frankly. And Councillor Conacher is not being quite truthful in a lot of respects. He wants the bridge opened. It will be at a cost, but he wants the bridge open for pedestrians, cyclists and buses. What a complete waste of time and what a complete letting down of the people in that area. West of Nuneaton, we just had a brand new railway station. I think it's going to be officially open in a week or so's time. I forget the date now. But people from the west of Nuneaton, as Councillor Tandy has said, cannot get to that station without going all the way down to the College Street roundabout, all the way up the A444 and back in the congestion to try and get to the railway station. Now, quite frankly, Councillor Conacher's jumping on the bandwagon is giving people, in my opinion, false hope. There is a great deal of good in there for a great majority of people in Nuneaton, and they will get the benefit from it.
Thank you very much. Councillor Parsons.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to just correct, I think, a slight misnomer that was stated this morning. We were talking about the 0 to 5 strategy, and again, I welcome the provision of additional family support workers that is outlined here because they're needed, essentially. But the leader of the Liberal Democrats did suggest that, in fact, when he emailed me, that I did nothing. Well, I'm not going to change the habit of a lifetime just for him. But I did not do nothing. I did reply and state that actually the 0 to 5 strategy would have to become before the ONS committee. It will be scrutinised. If indeed I, as chair of the scrutiny committee, was involved in the production of this thing, how then could I scrutinise it? That can't be done. It's far be it from me to point out to a far more experienced politician the role of overview and scrutiny, but I think he does need to look at it. Thank you, Chair.
Mr. Jackson.
Yes, Chair, just apologies, Chair, I didn't get the microphone to work then. Just apologies, can I declare, if it is necessary, an interest in Appendix A of the capital programme? I've just noticed funding is potentially going into 16-17 for the former Bridgeways Centre, and it's an interest as a member of the Nicholas Chamberlain Trust, and in St Michael's School, of which I'm a governor. They are declared. I'm unsure whether I should have declared them now, but I will do so for transparency.
Thank you very much. That'll be noted. And no more speakers. We'll go to the seconder of the Green motion, Councillor Chilvers.
Thank you, Chair. Just to briefly speak on the Conservative Liberal Democrat deal, I'm disappointed. I'm pleased to see. I'll start with what I'm pleased to see the family support workers in there. I think that's an excellent idea, and also the money for care leavers going back into the housing related support service budget. I'm disappointed that some of the investor save monies that we and actually Labour was suggesting, like the arson reduction, like the Warwickshire Youth Justice, which will save a tiny amounts of money and will save potentially hundreds of £1,000s down the line in a year or two, are not being included. And then to speak on the amendment, again, we really think this is an opportunity missed not to use some of that money that was going to go into the underspend on concessionary travel, to put it into cycling and bus promotion and promoting capital bids for cycling, and also to cancel Bermuda Bridge so that we can invest that capital money in other better ways. And so I will not be supporting the Conservative Lib Dem resolution, and I recommend the Green amendment to this council. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Coburn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of things. We haven't mentioned capital. We've taken on board the Liberal Democrats putting an extra £2 million for the next 2 years in highway maintenance. We and our predecessors have always kept highway maintenance as one of our top priorities, and I think the benefits of that are that our roads are in pretty good nick compared to a lot of our neighbours. Councillor Roothouse mentioned about that if we get a better settlement than we expect, which is be a very welcome surprise, that yes, we can look at, if it's put into reserves, we can discuss that on the 23rd of February, that wouldn't be a problem. But I recommend our recommendation.
Thank you very much. We'll now have the Green motion proposer again. We will then vote on the Green motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. End of a long day. Just a couple of points to come back on. The bridge modelling for the Bermuda Connect project actually predicts increased pollution and increased air pollution and noise pollution at people's homes in Bermuda. Actually building an extra road, even with the same amount of traffic, moves the pollution from it being on the bypass to being in front of people's homes in Bermuda. And actually, building this half bypass will increase the amount of traffic through the Western Nuneaton, particularly increase the amount of traffic on the west side of Heath End Road and Arbury Road, and will actually make the pollution worse. It was mentioned about my support of the combined authority. I will be supporting a combined authority when it is going to provide us with regulated public transport in Warwickshire, and when it sorts its governance arrangements out, so actually it's an open and transparent organisation. There is good things to do with combined authorities in terms of actually getting better public transport. At the moment, better public transport and better governance isn't on the table for us in Warwickshire. The offer isn't good enough yet, but in the long term, yes, if the public get a better transport out of a combined authority, then it may be time to go for it. At the moment, the offer is lousy. In terms of us having to be in the combined authority, we've built a station at Bermuda. I was just responding to what was said. We don't need to be in the combined authority to build the railway station. Coventry and Warwickshire worked together to build the Rico and the Bermuda station. It didn't go very well, but we've built 2 stations. And I'm passionate about getting safety. One of the things that hasn't really been mentioned is doubling the £350,000 a year on highway safety improvement schemes, because we're actually so slow at doing these schemes. The current £350,000 a year budget will take about 100 years to solve all our unsafe roads. And road accidents, actually, like this morning, cause far more delays than a lot of other issues. So actually, road safety improvements is a real must for our capital programme, not building new roads through communities.
Thank you very much. Councillor Seckham.
I'm not going to say very much more. I think we've done most of the talking today, but I do just want to say, in recognition of the fact that there have been a number of emails that have come through to all members around the Bermuda connectivity and the bridge, and I just want to reassure everyone who has been part of that they are taken seriously, their views are absolutely understood, and we have many sympathies with them. We have to balance people's views, people's priorities, and look at the bigger picture across the whole area. And what I wanted to make absolutely sure is that every one of the members here, everyone, takes seriously people's concerns that are represented to us. I just want to recommend our amended budget proposals as seen before you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll now vote on the Green Group amendment. All those in favour, please show. Any against?
More than 2.
That is defeated. We now vote on the substantive motion. This is to be a recorded vote in accordance with standing orders. So, David Carter.